Today, I'm gonna be showing you how to make a phenomenal steak kebab recipe. This has to be one of the best versions of steak that I've had. I think the marinade is just that flavorful. And the marinade is using really simple ingredients that I typically have in my pantry at all times, so it's nice to be able to just throw this together on a whim. It is so good, so let's get right into it. All right, so for the meat, I have 1 pound of filet here, and that's what I'm using, but you can use really any cut of beef that you like. You could use sirloin or New York strip or ribeye, but I like to use a tenderloin just because of how tender it is. But just depending on the type of meat that you use, you might just need to marinate this a little bit longer to just soften up those muscle fibers a little bit. What I'll do is I'll just cut these into like 1.5 inch pieces. And I actually don't mind if the kebab pieces are on the smaller side because I've made kebabs with bigger pieces and they're a lot harder to cook. I think smaller pieces, 1 inch, 1.5 inches. The marinade for this is so good. It's really one of the best tasting beef recipes that I've had, and Drew would agree to that too. I made this the other night for relatives that were in town and everybody loved it. So it's just delicious. So I'm just gonna take these pieces and place them on a plate for now because I'm gonna make the marinade and then later put those in. So I'll just refrigerate this while we're making our marinade. So for our marinade, we're gonna start out with tamari. This is gonna be for our salty flavor. It also has a nice depth of flavor to it. So 2.5 tablespoons of that. We also need a little bit more than the other ingredients because the steak needs flavor, and this is where all the salt is coming from. Then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. This adds just such a great flavor. Then 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. This obviously pairs really well with beef. Then 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I actually don't use the Grey Poupon French style Dijons because I find that they have too much of a bite to them. So I usually use like, I don't know, a generic store-bought Dijon just because it's a little bit more milder in flavor, but that is just my personal preference. I don't really like the harsh mustardy flavors. So then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of oil, just using a high heat cooking olive oil. Then for a little bit more of a depth of flavor, we're gonna be using 1 teaspoon of gochujang, and this is just Korean chili paste. It adds really a slight, like an ever so slightly taste of heat, but it's also really hard to get out of here, so. It's really thick, but it's just a really nice depth of flavor and it's not spicy. It's really good. So trust me on that. If you don't have this, you can just leave it out. You could add some red pepper flakes if you want heat and you don't have this, but I think it's worth having, and I've mentioned it in other recipes. And it's nice to get because you know how you buy ingredients for recipes and you don't ever use them again? This one you can really throw into a lot of recipes and it doesn't go bad in your fridge. So kind of stays in there forever. It's one of those types of things because it's fermented. And then we're gonna do just a generous crack of black pepper. So this is gonna be like a 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're gonna grab some garlic powder and onion powder. And we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I actually use the granules. I don't even use the powder whenever I say that. Just keep that in mind. This is garlic granules because I find it's a lot easier to use than the powder. Then we're gonna do 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder. And then we'll just whisk that together. You definitely need to whisk this because that gochujang can be really hard to get emulsified properly. And the really great thing about this is you don't really need to have the meat marinating. I have done this in a lot of different ways. I've had the meat marinating for an hour, and I've also just had it go directly on the grill after I toss the beef in this. And I've never noticed a difference in flavor, so I just wanna make sure all of that gochujang is incorporated. Smells wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna grab my steak out of the fridge. So we'll just add our beef to our marinade. And I'll just toss that in there. All right, so at this point, you can cover this with some plastic wrap, let it marinate in the fridge, but I am now going to get this on some skewers and we'll go cook it out on the grill. So we have our kebabs on the grill, and I have that preheated to 450 degrees. So what we're gonna do is just brush this extra marinade on top. I'm gonna do this a couple times, but I wanna make sure that whenever I do, that marinade cooks off, because you don't wanna put it on right when you're about to serve it because it had the raw meat in there. So I'm just letting that cook off and rotate this. So every 3 to 4 minutes, I'll rotate the kebabs, and then it'll probably take in total like 12 to 15 minutes for them to fully cook. Okay, so we have the kebabs off the grill, and I have some new taste testers here. So I have my mom, you guys have met her before, and our good friend Steph, welcome. So Steph, you have a good food background, so you're a good food taster for me.
I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah. So Mom, you've already had these.
They were delicious. I jumped out of the pool to get this taste test.
Yes, I know. Sorry, they came from the pool. So I literally interrupted their floating time, but I was like, I thought it'd be nice to have new people try this out, because Drew's had this a good bit.
Looks delicious.
Yeah, so this
The
is just
coloring is great.
Oh, actually, yeah, they're not overcooked.
No, they're perfect.
I think they're delicious. I mean,
Super tender.
yeah.
Tender. The sauce is delicious.
Yeah,
Whatever
great
you've
flavor.
done with the flavoring,
Yeah, it's a tamari balsamic vinegar.
so good.
I do some chili paste. It's like a Korean chili paste.
Has a little bit of bite.
Why
little
am I
bite.
blanking on
Delicious.
the, yeah.
We were surprised the other night. We had this for Drew's birthday,
Yeah.
and had relatives, and they thought they were eating at a 5-star restaurant.
it's
It was
delicious.
delicious. This
Yeah,
is
Very
delicious.
good. I love the little bit of bite in it.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's just enough.
Yeah, that's gochujang. So it's not
Yeah.
even red pepper flakes. It's just kind of like, and it adds like a depth to it. It's
It
not
really
just
does.
spiciness.
We
Very
served
good.
it over rice.
Yeah, it's good with
salad
rice.
and zucchini from the garden. It was delicious.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
We raced all the way up here.
I know. Yeah. Well, I wanted some opinions on it. I didn't want to just. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's delicious.
Drew and I think it's great. So.
I would make it. And-
Well, thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks
Yes.
for coming. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe as we shared. It goes great with, grilled zucchini. That's why I share it with, and rice. Really,
It'd be really good on salad.
Yes, it would. Great.
With some blue cheese and
Ooh, that would be delicious,
some pumpkin
actually.
seeds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, blue cheese and steak,
tomato.
delicious. So that sounds like good job,
Yeah.
Steph. Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, there's some ideas for you, but I hope you guys try this. I think it is honestly one of the best tasting steaks that I've had. So
I agree.
it's great. It's easy. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. And yeah, thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next recipe, and I'll see you in the comments.